idea was officers pulling somebody over by the side of the road, and the officer doesn't know if the driver is armed, and the officer may just be alone, and the person who has the car may have a gun, and so the officer, to protect the officer, can order the person out of the car for these officer safety reasons. And the catch to that is the court says they can do that without any showing specifically of cause. They don't need to show the person was acting suspiciously or that they had a particular reason the person had a gun. It's just a bright line rule. They can order the person out of the car. What that means for somebody who's in a car is that you could be pulled over for speeding and the officer says, get out of the car. And they can do that under the Supreme Court decision. And you're thinking as the driver, wait, why are you ordering me out of the car? I didn't do anything. What? I don't understand. But they can do that at any time under this 1977 Supreme Court decision.
At any time, and it's that confusion and in a lot of cases mistrust of the police that can lead to these traffic stops escalating to more serious incidents very quickly.
Officers are using a set of rules. People don't know what the rules are. They don't know what cause the officer has. They don't know why the officer is doing what the officer is doing, and they may suspect either that the officer is engaging in racial profiling, or that the officer does not have enough cause to stop them, or order them out of the car, or whatever is happening. And so for the citizen, it's really confusing. And that's true even if they happen to be Fourth Amendment experts. The driver of the car just can't really know what's going on. We're seeing again and again, as we, I think really as video helps show us a lot of what the reality has been for all this time about what's actually happening. And I think we're kind of seeing, like, wait a minute, these rules are just, the deck is stacked too much in the officer's favor.
Carrie, I mean, traffic stops have been happening for years and years, but it seems like we're just in a moment right now where there's much more public attention focused on both the legal and racial implications of why they're happening.
I think that's the case. I think, certainly many people are pulled over every day for routine traffic stops. The difference now is that more police officers are wearing cameras on their bodies, and a lot more civilians, a lot more people driving cars and their passengers know and try to protect themselves by recording those interactions. More and more of that is coming to light. More and more reporters and TV shows are paying attention to and broadcasting that footage, and it's really started this conversation, or continued this conversation, either on the left or on the right of the political divide, about how to ensure that everybody goes home safe, not just the driver, but also the law enforcement officer.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to talk more about how traffic stops disproportionately impact people of color.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Verbo. The family reunion will be extra special this summer, so check out Verbo to find a private home vacation home with something for everyone. A private pool, outdoor space, a grill, whatever the family is looking for, you'll find it on Verbo. And if plans change, you can cancel for free on select properties. Download the Verbo app. The time for getting back together is now.
What happens after a police officer shoots someone who is unarmed? For decades in California, internal affairs investigations, how the police themselves were secret. Until now. Listen to On Our Watch, a podcast from NPR and KQED.
And we're back, and we're talking about how police traffic stops have disproportionately impacted people of color. And Carrie, to continue the conversation, you brought a special guest to us on the podcast, so I'm going to give you the honors of introducing him.
A special guest, Kobe Flowers, an attorney in Baltimore and D.C. who spent more than 20 years trying cases. He now works on suing police for wrongful convictions and officer misconduct. Welcome to the podcast, Kobe. We're delighted to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a delight to be here, and I appreciate your work.
One of the reasons why I'm so eager to hear what you have to say is the breadth of your experience. You prosecuted civil rights cases for the Justice Department, then you left the government, became a public defender, and now you're in some cases bringing civil lawsuits on behalf of survivors of police brutality. What has that experience showed you about the disconnect between how police operate on the ground and judges and the public's understanding of law?
Well, it's been journey that I think has shown me kind of how we have policing wrong. And so what I mean by that is this. We've been reforming police departments since 1871. This is the 150th year of reforming police departments. Kind of my experience has shown me that, look, we've been doing this for 150 years, and yet we still have very, very serious problems with policing in America. So it just raises the question of we need to do something different than what we've been doing in the last 150 years.
We've been talking through how traffic stop laws work and how the law can be confusing for the person being pulled over, and also how the law gives a pretty good amount of deference to the police officer pulling the person over. Carrie, how has the Supreme Court weighed in on all of this, and whether or not the confusion on the driver's part is problematic?
Yeah, this all happened in a case from 1996 called Wren. It was a unanimous decision from the Supreme Court. And basically it said a routine traffic violation is enough for the police to stop you in your car and to search your car. And then any anxiety or fear that you feel from that experience is really not protection from any kind of Fourth Amendment search. That the courts would do a balance between the need to protect officers' safety during this traffic stop and the need to protect the safety of others on the roads and the driver's anxiety. And in most cases, if not all cases, the law enforcement officer is going to win here. And the reason why this has become such a powerful precedent is we've now seen so many cases on video where there are serious injuries and even deaths of drivers and passengers in these vehicles. And it's really kind of shocked the conscience of people who see some of these videos.
Fundamentally, what Wren does is it says police officers, those people that certainly by reputation are thought of as always telling the truth, as always being very honest. What the Supreme Court said in Wren is they can be dishonest, right? They can pull you over for a pretext. In other words, you can have a busted tail light, but they're really looking at you because they think you are a drug dealer. It is difficult for us as lawyers to try to get at that